Hello and welcome back. This is video number 2, and in this specific video we're going to show you a bird's eye view of how Facebook retargeting works. So you may have a general idea of how Facebook retargeting works, but my goal here is to kind of give you a visual mind map of how all the pieces connect together. Because if I jump in and start showing you to do this, to do that, and I don't explain what things are and why things are important, I know that you will get confused, and I don't want to overwhelm you, so that's the goal here. So let's dive in. Obviously, this is going to be the visitor, and the visitor comes to a website, a landing page, whatever page that you want. Let's say that it is a blog post, and it could be a specific blog post. It doesn't matter. So they visit this blog post, and on the blog post, in order for us to know that they visited the blog post, there's going to need to be a piece of code. And that piece of code is called a Facebook pixel. Now, I'm not going to talk about that right now, but all you need to know is that the Facebook pixel tracks them. I'm going to talk briefly about the Facebook pixel later on because it can get kind of technical. So all you need to know right now is a piece of code that tracks them and lets us know that they have visited this particular blog post. Now, bear in mind that if you want to learn how to set things up with different scenarios, what do you do with an opt-in page? Or what do you do when you're trying to get somebody to fill out a form? Or what do you do when you're trying to sell a product? Well, I'm going to talk about different real-life examples in the next video. All right, so just keep that in mind. Let's just talk about the basics. Okay, so from this point, let's say it's a blog post, and maybe in this situation, what we want to do is whenever somebody visits this particular blog post, we want to create an audience specifically for this. All right, so whenever somebody visits here, they are going to have the Facebook pixel there, and then this visitor essentially will be added on this part to a custom audience. All right. And don't worry, we're going to explain all of this later on. Now, this custom audience is going to allow us to say, okay, anybody who visits this page is now added to this audience here. Now, why do you need an audience? Well, you need an audience because when it comes to trying to put ads up, so let's put this up. Let's do a Facebook ad. We have to find a way to show this ad to this audience. So obviously from the custom audience here and the Facebook ad here, directionally, we are going to show the Facebook ad to anyone who visited this blog post. So this is a very, very basic Facebook retargeting. So let me repeat this. Let's do a recap. A visitor comes to the blog post, and this piece of code is just happens to be on this blog post, which will allow us to know, okay, this person visited it and they're segmented into this audience, and therefore we then show them Facebook ads on Facebook to this custom audience. So that is a very, very basic scenario. Now, it can get a little bit more tedious if you add more things like email opt-ins or everything else like that. But I just want to start with the basics. We'll talk about more about real life examples in the next video. Now, what you will need to learn is the Facebook pixel, how to use it, how to set up different things like triggers, different ways to work with variables. And the Facebook pixel is just more than a piece of code. It can track when somebody visits a page. It can track when somebody buys a product. It can track when somebody opts in. So in other words, if you want to know if a conversion happened, then you will need the Facebook pixel again. So the Facebook pixel is essentially a piece of code that is on your whole website, and based upon where they land, where they convert, It is all recorded. So we'll talk more about that later on, but let's move on to the next video. And I'm going to give you some real life examples and real life scenarios. We're going to show you different mind maps for different scenarios so that you have an idea of kind of how things work. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 6, and we're going to dive into the Facebook pixel and talk about the different variables and settings, which according to Facebook is also known as standard events. Basically, all that means is that you're going to have a different code or different keyword for different scenarios. So we're taking a look right now at a standard Facebook pixel. Now I've blurred out or put X's in the area of my Facebook pixel ID. So you know that this is going to be your Facebook pixel ID. Now, if you go to facebook.com and you look for their standard events, you're going to see a list of different event codes. So you can see add to cart. This can track anytime somebody adds an item to the cart. So if you're selling maybe physical items or e-commerce or even digital items and they add it to the cart, you want to use the standard event code here. And what that means is you are going to take this code and put it in your pixel code, and then you're going to put that code on that page. You have another one called add payment info. This tracks when the payment information is added in the checkout flow. So you're going to add that to that specific page. Now, some of these will relate to you, some of them will not. So you can see complete registration. This is great for if somebody is trying to fill out a form and you're trying to get them to fill that form out, and you want to track, did they fill that form or not? If they didn't, then this code would not be triggered. If they did, then of course they would land on the page after they fill out the form, and you would put that code on that page. We can see contact, which is if they went to a contact page and they contacted you, you could put that on the code and on that specific page. So as you can see, there are tons and tons of different standard events that relate to different actions. So we have donate, we have find location, we have initiate checkout, we have lead. Lead is whenever somebody signs up on your email list. Or they could be a form submission. They could sign up for a trial. They could land on a specific page where you would deem them to be a lead. And you would use that code right here. And then we have purchase. They also have a code for that and a value. So if you're using USD in the United States of America, and you would put the number here. So if it was $47, you would put 47.00 USD. If you were not using USD and you were using your own country's money symbol here, it could be Canadian, it could be AUS for Australia, you could put that here. And then we have schedule, we have search, we have start trial, we have submit application, we have subscribe, we have view content. So view content could simply mean they're viewing a special piece of content. So it could be something like the blog post, right? So we could send them to the blog post. You would make sure that the pixel code has this specific code in it. So why don't we go back to the pixel code and let me show you what you need to do. So let's say, for example, view content. So you're going to highlight this, click copy, and then you're going to go back to the pixel code here. And the only item that you want to change is this item here. So where it says FBQ, parentheses, track, comma, page view, we're going to remove that, and then we're going to put that here. So in this case, it's view content, and page view is going to be removed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this code and put it on the special piece of content page where we want to track it. Now, if it's a lead, we simply remove this and type lead. Now, when you run your Facebook ad campaign, what's going to happen is in the campaign, you'll see these keywords. So you can also put your own keyword as well. And it's going to tell you the keywords, how many people visited it, and all that. And you yourself will know, okay, so this many people out of 100 people came, 10 people, 10% became a lead. So you'll see leads 10. And that will give you an idea of what is actually converting. So let's do something else. Let's go back up here and let's do purchase. So we're going to copy this. We're going to go back here. And instead of a lead, we're going to copy and paste this here. This is track purchase value. Let's say it's $47, and that's all you need to do. And you're going to need to take this piece of code and put it on the page that they see after they purchase. So whatever page that they are sent to or redirected to immediately, you need to put that piece of code on that page. Now, let's say, for example, that we have a funnel and the funnel is an opt-in page. So in that case, the opt-in page is going to have a pixel code, and the track will be something like this. So the opt-in page could be a page view or view content, and then the next page after that, if they subscribe, could be a lead. So throughout your funnel, you have different steps, you have different pages, and on those different pages, you'll have different pixel codes. Now, while that might seem a little bit complex right now, it really isn't. It's a matter of just changing the keyword and putting the code on the right page. And then, of course, using the Facebook Pixel Helper Google Chrome extension to go back to the page, make sure that pixel is on the page, and it'll tell you if the pixel is on the page and specifically what it is. So if it's a lead, it'll show a lead. If it's a purchase, it'll show a purchase. And it really is quite easy once you get the hang of it. So with that said, let's move on to the next video. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 5, and we're going to talk about how to add the pixel code to your website. Now, it's really going to depend on what kind of landing page creator you use, what kind of website platform that you use. So for example, WordPress is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to show you a WordPress plugin that you can use. If you're, say, for example, using a HTML website page builder or ClickFunnels or Lead Pages or OptimizePress or any other type of landing page builder, you need to make sure that the pixel is on every single page of your funnel, because you're going to want to track everything from start to finish. Or you just want to put the pixel code on the pages that you want to track. For example, the pages where they initially visit, the pages where they convert, the pages where they don't convert, and so forth, so that you're able to kind of get a bigger bird's eye view of what is happening, what people are visiting, what people are not, and all that. So if you click on the install pixel code in Facebook Manager, then you'll see this page. Now, like I said, it can change, but basically what you need to do is it says locate the header code for your website. So what you're going to look for is the head tags, and you're going to put the pixel code within these tags. So like I said, it's going to differ based upon what kind of platform you use. But the majority of times, if you are using something like Lead Pages or ClickFunnels or something similar, then they will typically give you the option to add some sort of code to the head tag. So that's actually very easy to do. Now, when it comes to something like WordPress, you will want to add this code to a plugin. You could do that, or you could add it to the header.php template. of your WordPress theme. So I'm going to show you different options that you can take, two different options for a WordPress site. But of course, if you're not familiar and this is a little bit overwhelming, you can always get a web developer to do this for you. It's really not hard to do once you understand the concept. So now let's talk about the WordPress plugin that we highly recommend that you use. We actually use this on a lot of our WordPress sites, and it's a free plugin. If you go to wordpress.org/plugins/pixel your site, as you can see here, or you can simply come here, click on plugins, and type that in here. That's fine as well. But this plugin is very useful, and it allows you to add your Facebook pixel to certain pages of your WordPress site. So it's a matter of just simply installing the plugin, grabbing your pixel code, and adding it to the settings area. So it's very, very easy if what we talked about before it seemed a little bit daunting. Now, once you have everything installed, the next thing you're going to want to have is you're going to want to install a Google Chrome extension called the Facebook Pixel Helper. And the reason why you want to install this is because you want to make sure that the web pages that you're inserting into Facebook actually have the Facebook pixel. You definitely don't want to assume that it is installed and set up your campaign, pay the money for the Facebook ads, and realize, oops, it's not there. So this is another free plugin for Google Chrome. And if you're using other things like Safari or Firefox, you can probably go and Google Facebook Pixel Firefox or Facebook Pixel Safari. But for Google Chrome, this is what we use. And all you have to do is install it. And as you can see down here, you're going to see this icon. And any web page that you visit in your funnel, if you click that, it should say that the pixel has been found. If it has not been found, you either need to reinstall it, showing what we talked about earlier with the WordPress plugin and all that, or even just hiring somebody who knows how to do that. And it's really not that hard. But this is going to make your life a lot easier. So again, go to Google, type in Pixel Helper Chrome extension, and you'll get this right here. And that's really all you need. All you need to do as a recap is, number one, install the pixel in the head tags for any web page that you want. And number two, get this Chrome extension so that you're able to test and make sure that you've installed the pixel correctly. So now that you understand how to add the pixel to your website, your WordPress site, or your landing page builder, let's move on to the next video and let's talk about the Facebook pixel variables and the different settings of the pixel itself so that you're able to track, you're able to see what is converting and all that. Hello and congratulations, you've reached the end of this video course. This is video number 9, and we're going to talk about how to set up your Facebook ad and then set it up so that you are targeting the custom audience. It's actually very easy to do. All you have to do is simply go to your ads manager, create a ad, and then you'll see this screen. Now, as I said before, Facebook likes to change up everything oftentimes once a month, or if not more. So you may not see this screen at all. You may see something totally different. But as of now, it says, how do you want to create your ad campaigns? You can create complete campaigns with all the details now, or you can simply set up your campaign structure and fill in the details of your ad sets and ads later. So in this case, we're going to do this. And then of course you have the campaign, you have the ad set, and then of course you have the ad. So it's top down. So you have the campaign, which is the overarching, essentially covering everything. And then you have the ad set, which you can use to focus on the audience, the placements, and the budget and schedule. And then of course you have the ad. So as you can see here, the custom audience will be chosen under the ad set level. So at this point in time, you're going to want to choose an objective. Either you're trying to brand yourself and you're simply going to drive people to a blog post and that's it. Or you can use traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, which is great for videos, conversions, catalog sales, or store visits. Now, like I said earlier, most of your objectives are going to be traffic. So we're going to go ahead and click this here. And then of course we're going to name the campaign. We'll call it Retargeting Test 1. You can split test, you can do budget optimization. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to keep it simple. Now, as you can see here, this allows us to focus on a specific demographic. So we've got traffic, we scroll down, and this specific area allows us to choose the custom audience. So as you can see here, custom audiences, you simply click here and you will be able to choose the custom audience. Now, I'm not going to do that now because I've got several custom audiences in there, but you just click here and then choose the custom audience. And it's really that easy. Now, location allows you to specify a specific location. So if you want to do custom audiences, anybody who visited a specific page, but is also located in the United States and is within the age bracket of, let's say, 20 to 30, or even 60, and we only want to focus on men or women, and we only want to focus on a specific language, or we want to do all. So as you are changing these items here, you're going to see a little meter on the right hand side, and this will give you an idea of your potential reach or how many people you will be able to reach. Now, if it's a custom audience, most likely that number is going to be lower. And just bear in mind that if you just started your custom audience, sometimes it takes time and for Facebook to collect enough data for it to actually populate. So sometimes you may not even see it say potential reach 1,000 yet because it's still populating and you're still gathering enough data. So imagine Facebook is trying to gather enough data about your audience in order for it to actually show your ad to that audience. Now, you can specify it and make it more detailed, but I wouldn't recommend that. If you're focusing on a custom audience, I would focus on the whole audience. And then, of course, you have placements. We just choose automatic, and then the daily budget, usually a good start is $5. You can run the ad set continuously starting today, or you can set a start date and an end date. And there we go. So all the ad set level is focused on custom audiences, the targeting, and all of that. And then, of course, when we move to the ad level, that is when we begin to create the ads, the graphics, and all of that. But I really wanted to focus primarily on this so that you can see where you're supposed to choose the custom audience. So you can only choose, in this case, you can choose several custom audiences, but you don't really want to, because you want to make a Facebook ad that is focused on a very specific person. And that's really all it is. And as you can see, it's not hard to do.